Hey everyone, it's Ross, aka When It's RVM, and I'm going to tell you the 5 things I'm going to do to lose £10 in 28 days. So, these 5 things, they need to do one of 2 things or both. They either need to put me in a calorie deficit, because a calorie deficit is essential for weight loss, or they need to help me maintain muscle mass, so muscle retention. These 2 things are really important because obviously you're not going to lose £10 if you don't lose weight, and a calorie deficit is essential for weight loss. A calorie deficit is just when you have more energy going out through activity, bodily functions, than you do coming in via food and drink. And muscle retention, maintaining muscle, just not losing any muscle tissue. The reason that muscle maintenance is really important when you're looking to lose weight but you want to be toned and you want to maintain your shape is obviously if we lose £10 and we lose 2 or 3 pounds of muscle in the process because we don't pay any attention to muscle maintenance, then we're actually only going to lose 7 to 8 pounds of fat. So we're not going to have as much fat loss, and therefore we're not going to be as toned. But also we're going to start to lose our shape and we're going to start to look flat. So essentially, if you want to have the best aesthetic outcome, if you want to look the best from your weight loss, you need muscle maintenance, and you need to train as if you're going for muscle gain. Because imagine you put a pound of muscle on and now you've lost 11 pounds of fat. Then, you know, you're slimmer, you're even more toned, you've got even more shape. So that's why we're going for those. First up, I'm going to do 15,000 steps a day. Now, 15,000 steps a day is actually quite a lot. But the reason for this is I do around 6 to 10,000 steps per day. So for me to get up to 15,000, it's tough, but it's achievable. And because it's so much more than I normally do, it's just going to help really add to my calorie deficit. And that's the reason I'm going to do it. Now, the principle of this is it's making me be more active so I burn more calories. My method is 15,000 steps a day. For you, you might only do 2,000 to 4,000 steps on average per day. If you were going to go for 15,000 steps a day, it would be impossible for the whole 28 days for most people to jump from 2,000 to 4,000 steps a day to 15,000 steps a day. So do something that makes you more active, that you can stick to, but challenges you, whether that's 15,000, 10,000, 7,000, 6,000. If it's 1,000 steps more a day, it's good. But obviously the more you do, the more energy you burn through doing more activity, and the larger calorie deficit that you will create. Next up, we've got resistance training, also known as weight training. Resistance training, I'm going to do it 3 times a week. So I'm going to do resistance training 3 times a week. And this is mostly going to be upper body work, but for most people they'd be best off doing full body. And all you're doing is you're going into the gym, you're doing 2 to 4 sets of an exercise for anywhere between 5 to 20, maybe even up to 30 reps, and just challenging yourself, going close to failure, but not with bad form, because never do things with bad form. But it's as simple as that. So I'm literally like, for my upper body, I push, I pull, and I do a superset like that. So I might do press ups, and then I might do some chin ups. And so today I did 5 supersets total. I started off with press ups and chin ups. I then went into floor press and chest supported rows. After that, oh my God, I can't even remember. I did chest machine press and some seated row machine. I then did cable flies and I did some face pulls, and I finished off with some arm work, and that was pretty much it. But yeah, and I train my left leg, but I don't train my right leg. The reason for that, and the reason I don't train full body, even though I think you should, and I'll explain why, is because I grew up playing football. My legs are already bigger than I want them to be, and I'm already toned reasonably. So if you're already toned and you can already see muscle definition in your legs, and they're already bigger than you want them to be, and you've not got much weight left to lose, so say anything under 10 pounds, then you don't need to train legs, but that isn't most people. I like my clothes. I don't like how my legs fit in clothes, so I just want to lose some muscle. That's pretty much it. But because I've had 5 surgeries on my left leg's a bit smaller than my right, so I'm using this as an opportunity to hopefully lose some muscle on my right leg and maintain or maybe even gain some on my left to even out. So that's what I do for that, and this ticks the box of muscle retention. Basically, if you don't use it, you lose it. So yeah, muscle retention just by hitting upper body and my left leg 3 times a week. This also, because it's exercise, because it's activity, is going to help for a calorie deficit. So it ticks both boxes, which is great, and that's the third one. That's the second one even. The third one is cardio. So for me, I don't have many priorities in life. I'm single, I don't have children, I've got a lot of free time. So for me, why not do cardio? So my thing that I'm going to do next is I'm going to do cardio 3 times a week for 45 minutes. And I will do that in a circuit style training where I make little circuits up with some leg mobility exercises like Cossack squats, some cardio exercises, maybe like a gorilla burpee or some inchworms or some mountain climbers, some core work, plank variations, crunch variations, stuff like that, and some posture work as well. So I might throw in some locust raises or some cobra raises or things like that. And I'll just do like 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off, 30 seconds on, 15 seconds off. I'll mix it up, I'll throw in some circuits and I'll do it for like 45 minutes. I'll get my heart rate up, I'll get a sweat on, and I'll burn some calories. So calorie deficit, that's the box it ticks. And then the last 2 are dietary interventions. So you're not going to lose 10 pounds in 28 days without dietary interventions. But before I go on to those, I want to go backtrack a little bit and go back to cardio. Cardio is not essential for this. You can lose weight and you can tone up without cardio. All you need to do is create a calorie deficit and maintain muscle. You can create a calorie deficit without cardio. Cardio does burn calories, but you could just not eat those calories, or you could diet slower. And it's only because I have the free time, like why not do it? Because I enjoy it, why not do it? Why not be fitter? Why not burn more calories so you can eat more? If you haven't got the time, or you just really don't enjoy it, you don't have to do it. All right, dietary interventions. This is a non-negotiable. You will not lose 10 pounds in 28 days without dietary intervention. So I will not eat more than 2,000 calories in a day. That's it, that's what I'm gonna do. So the reason I've come to this number, I'm gonna track it using MyFitnessPal as well. By the way, it's a calorie counting app, it's free, it's great. But yeah, basically this number comes from experience and it comes from a calculation. So I've done the calculation for my body size, age, activity levels, all those sorts of things. I just went onto Google, calorie calculator, search, and it's like calculator.net/calorie calculator is the one that I use. Really easy to find. Put your numbers in there, it will tell you what you maintain your weight on. To lose £1 a week, we need to accumulate a 500 calorie deficit every single day. So by the end of the week, we get to 3,500 calories. I'm going for 1,000 calorie deficit, so I should lose 2 pounds of body fat per week if I maintain muscle. And you might be thinking, but hey Ross, didn't you say you were going to lose 10 pounds in 28 days? I'll get back to that. But I'm a 5'11" male who's very, very active. So 1,000 calories of my total calories still leaves me with 2,000, which ain't too bad. But if you're smaller, less active, or both, and your maintenance calories is much lower, say like 1,800, if you're a really small sedentary female, then taking 1,000 calories away of that to get 2 pounds a week of weight loss is possible, but not probable. It'd be so hard to stick to just eating 800 calories a day that I wouldn't recommend it. And the way you can think about this is, if I am this 5'11" male and you're like a 5'3" female, 2 pounds as a total percent of our body weights is going to be much bigger for you than it would be for me, because I'm taller, have more muscle, all these sort of things. It's going to be a small, 2 pounds for me is going to be a smaller percentage of my total body weight than it would be for you. So it's okay to go slower and go for £1 a week, go for half a pound a week, or whatever. Essentially, you want to stick to the biggest calorie deficit you can. You can is the most important part of that, because if the biggest calorie deficit you can stick to is 100 a day, then go do that, because it's better than doing something you can't stick to, because slower weight loss is quicker than no weight loss, because if you can't stick to the plan, you'll get no weight loss. But if you can stick to a slow plan, you'll get weight loss. So when you see people talking about who have the ability to stick to a plan that gets those quick results, don't let that dishearten you and feel like going slower is any less good. That doesn't sound good, that doesn't sound particularly articulate. But yeah, anything is good. Just do as much as you can stick to, even if that's slower. All right, next up we've got protein. That's my fifth and final one. I'm going to eat 120 grams of protein per day as a minimum. And the reason for this is it helps with muscle retention. So it ticks the box of muscle retention. We could also argue that it helps tick the box of calorie deficit, because a high protein diet will make you feel fuller and will help you eat less calories. And also protein has a higher thermic effect of food, so the energy cost to digest it is much higher than that of carbohydrate and fat and even alcohol. But that last part's not that significant. So we'll just say muscle retention. And yeah, to recap, we've got 15,000 steps a day, 3 times a week weight training, resistance training, 3 times a week doing 45 minutes of cardio, under 2,000 calories a day, over 120 grams of protein a day. And that's it. That's all I'm going to do to get 10 pounds off in 28 days. But what about those 2 other pounds? Because my calorie deficit only equates for 8 pounds. So when you start a diet, you've been eating normal, you've been eating more, and then you go on a diet and you eat less. So when you start that diet, you have more food in your body, and your muscle stores glycogen in it, and glycogen is just stored carbohydrate within the body. And one of the things about carbohydrate as well, for every gram of carbohydrate, you will hold 3 to 4 grams of water along with it. And also sodium, salt, makes you retain more water as well. When you're eating more, it's probable that you're going to have more carbohydrate in you, more salt and sodium in you. So you're going to have these things giving you weight, then you're going to have the extra water that comes with that giving you weight. This isn't body fat, it doesn't even matter. And then also you've just got the fact that you've got more food in you, which eventually, you know, is going to come out. Again, it's not fat, none of this is fat, but when you go on a diet, obviously you're going to eat less, you're going to deplete your glycogen stores, you're not going to have as carbohydrate in you, probably not as much salt, you're not going to have as much food in you, so you're just not going to weigh as much. And that's why people in the first week of dieting will drop like crazy amounts of weight, and they'll be like, oh my god, my new diet's the best. It's like, it's not. You just have less food in you and you went for a big poo. Like, chill out. So that's where I'll get that 10 pounds of weight loss in 28 days. It'll be like 8 pounds, 7 pounds of body fat, 2 to 3 pounds of yeah, just food and carbohydrate not in my body anymore, because I'll be depleted from just not eating as much as I normally do for a while. Practical applications. So I've given you a bunch of tips how you can make that personal for yourself. The protein, I'm going to work backwards as we go through these. Protein, I've got, the way I came to 120 grams is 0.75 grams of protein per pound of my ideal or target body weight. So my target body weight is 11 stone, so I work my numbers off of that, and that comes out at, I think it actually comes out 115, and I just round up to 120. If you wanted to weigh 10 stone, that will come out at about 105 grams. But yeah, all you want to do is 0.75 times your ideal body weight in pounds, and then you eat that many grams of protein per day. Next up, calories. So this is the hardest one to stick to, and this is the most important one to stick to get the weight loss. Basically, there are a few things that can take me off track that I'm going to have to manage along the way. First up, just hunger. So ways that I can manage hunger are, as I said earlier, eating enough protein, staying hydrated, eating foods that fill me up, which are typically just nutritious foods, but also foods that you can have a lot of for not a lot of calories. So some nutritious examples would be just like vegetables, cabbage, broccoli, lentils, things like that. Potatoes are really, really good for filling you up and nutritious as well. But on the flip side, I could have like a 10-calorie jelly, which would be like, like a whole pot, 10 calories, fill me up. Diet Coke, again, 0 calories more or less, it would fill me up. Neither of those are nutritious, but it doesn't matter because I'm going to be eating a largely nutritious diet and including some junk into that. Doesn't matter, because as long as I stay under 2,000 calories and I eat my 120 grams of protein, I've done it. So this is a non-restrictive approach to dieting. The choice to eat junk is always there. I'm going to have to manage my energy levels. So to manage my energy levels, I'm going to attempt to sleep better. So I'm going to cut off my caffeine a little bit earlier. Normally I cut it off at about 4, I'm going to cut it off at 2. I'm going to be drinking my chamomile tea, chilling out before bed. I'm going to eat nutritious foods. Again, they make you feel fuller, but also how much better do you feel when you're eating vegetables and fruits? Basically, I could hit my 120 grams of protein and stay under 2,000 calories by just drinking protein shakes and eating sweets. However, the chances of me sticking to this plan whilst doing that are so low because I would just feel awful. So I want to feel energetic, because when you feel energetic, everything's possible, right? You go into the gym, you smash it. You've got all the motivation in the world to turn down the donut. Like, maintaining your energy levels is really, really important. So another one, again, staying hydrated. Your body functions better, you feel good. Next up is my mood. So one of the reasons I've put on 10 pounds since the time I was the most lean in my life was Christmas, obviously, but like also pandemic sadness, right? Leaning on food too much in those moments of being a bit down, being a bit sad. I've been feeling good for like 2 months now. I sorted my head out. I did a video on that. Go check it out if you want. But I'm going to have to manage my mood so that I don't want to use food as escapism. So I'm going to do stuff that I know is good for me. I'm going to not indulge in media that I have a negative reaction to. I'm going to walk in nature. I'm going to talk to my friends. I'm gonna indulge in media that I feel stimulates me and that makes me feel good, whether that's music, podcasts, films, books, whatever. I'm gonna keep myself stimulated. I'm gonna keep myself feeling good. And then last up is boredom. So boredom, again, as I touched on, staying stimulated is going to be a big one. But if I feel bored, that's when I'm going to want to look to boredom. To food as an escapism from boredom. So I want to keep myself occupied, I want to keep myself stimulated so that I don't go to food for escapism. And then motivation. When these 4 things happen, my energy is going to get low at some point, my mood might get low at some point, my hunger might get high at some point, and my boredom might get high at some point. I'm going to need to lean on motivation and my reasons that I want to achieve what I want to achieve, my why, to help me see me through it and ride that difficult period, because it will come. So my reasons for why, I'm just going to be upfront and honest, and mostly they're just vanity, pure vanity. Like, I just want to get low body fat levels because I love how I look when like I'm really, really defined, and I can just see all the lines. It just feels really, really good. And also pure vanity from a fashion perspective. I love how clothes fit when I'm leaner and when I'm slimmer. So I will just be feeling good in my clothes, out of my clothes, and that's basically my motivation, I guess. I also do have arthritis in my knee, so if I'm 10 pounds lighter, that's 10 pounds less that my arthritic knee has to carry around every single day, which can only be good for the longevity of that. Next up, cardio. I've talked about cardio, you don't need to do it, but if you do want to do it, it doesn't matter how you do it. I like doing it in circuits. You could do more low intensity, longer stuff like running, jogging. Running is not low intensity. Jogging, fast-paced walking, hiking, cycling, whatever. If you prefer doing high intensity and you can recover from it and it doesn't impact your weight training, then go do high intensity, whether that's sprints or whatever. If you didn't want to do cardio and you just wanted to go upper, lower, upper, lower, upper, lower, and just always hit weights, that would be cool. Doesn't matter. Resistance training, again, like I just touched on, I do like an upper cardio split. You could do an upper lower split. You could do 2 a week. You could do 3 a week. You could train 6 days a week. It doesn't really matter. Just do something you can stick to. And then the first one was 15,000 steps a day, and I gave a bunch of practical tips already, but remember it takes 10 minutes to do 1,000 steps a day, and you want to set your target as something that gets you in more than you'd normally do and gets you working hard to do it, but that you can actually stick to. And that's pretty much it. I've tried to make this as personal to you as possible so you can basically take what I'm doing for myself and apply it to you and go away and lose weight yourself, tone up yourself and get your own transformation. If you've liked this video, you found it useful, please do subscribe, hit like, comment, all that good stuff. I've recently started this channel. I'm going to be sharing information on dieting and training for losing weight, toning up, getting slimmer and just feeling as fit and as strong as ever. And that's pretty much it. If there's any topics you want me to cover in the future, write down in the comments and I'll probably do a video on it. And yeah, thanks for getting this far. Cheers.